If you're a Medicare agent selling Medicare health plans, how many apps should you be intending to write during AEP? What's a good goal? What's a good target? AEP goes from October 15th through December 7th, so it's essentially a 7 to 7.5 week opportunity in selling season. And people always ask me how many apps should they aim for? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer that question. This video is sponsored by none other than Lead Heroes, you guys. Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketed leads and virtual staffing. On the lead side, whether it be Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, turning 65 leads, they just got something for everybody. They can also actually have you plug in with one of their virtual staff members on the staffing side to where you can pay by the hour for one of their trained and very well vetted staff members to help you out in your business in a virtual assistant format. Just because you watch this video, they're going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. Link to the site can be found down in the description, so go ahead and check them out. So to answer this question, I think we first need to start off by dissecting AEP as a whole and what it is, okay? So AEP, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, goes from October 15th through December 7th. It's the time where people on Medicare Advantage plans and also Part D prescription drug plans can change out of their plans to go maybe to a different plan, or if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, you can go into Original Medicare and potentially sign up for Medicare Supplement plan if you can answer health questions. And or if you have a Medicare Supplement plan and you're tired of the premiums, or the client's tired of the premiums, they can transition out of that into a Medicare Advantage plan. All commissions for Medicare Advantage and Part D prescription drug plans are typically not paid out until January or February, depending on the carrier itself. But it's an opportunity where there's a lot of people that can change that couldn't change before. I actually did a video yesterday that came out, that aired, that went into kind of what you should look for in terms of opportunity, but there's a lot of plan disruption. There's a lot of changes that go on, so there's a lot of selling opportunity for you. Now, people always say, what should my goal be? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of transparency, right, in terms of me. So my first AEP, I wrote 60 new clients, okay? I had just started earlier that year. I believe I got licensed in June, and I started an AEP. I was mainly just cold calling and things like that. I wasn't really working leads, marketing. I didn't know any of that stuff yet. I was incredibly young, but I wrote about 60 new clients. I think 50 to 60, if you're brand new, is a terrific goal. I really do believe that. And people always say, 100 or bust. The amount of people that actually do 100 is maybe 2% of the industry, maybe 3, maybe, if you look at the statistics, which means 97 to 98% are not writing 100 here. Now, should 100 during AEP, excuse me. But should 100 be the goal? I'm not saying 100 apps should not be your goal. I'm going to talk to you about that more in a second. But I think if you're new, I think we need to put some context into it, because you might do 80 and it might be a really good first AEP, but you might end up beating yourself up and feeling like you're just a loser because you didn't do 100, because everyone's telling you that if you don't do 100, you're a loser. When in reality, the amount of people that do 100 are very, very small, okay? That's the facts. If you look at carrier and FMO data, I'd love for somebody to challenge me on this that doesn't believe me. But essentially, what you need to understand is, I think if you're new and you do 50 to 60, maybe 70, maybe 80, I believe that's a very strong first AEP for a rookie agent. So it depends on the context of where you're at in your career. Now, if you're a couple years in, you're 2 years in, you're 3 years in, you're 4 years in, I believe your goal should be 100. 100 or more. Depends on what your appetite is. The other thing you have to be thinking about and always taking into consideration when it comes to setting AEP goals is, everybody says that they put goals out for themselves, like I want to write 200, I want to write 300. But what's your marketing budget for that? Are you willing to spend the money that it takes to get to that amount of clientele, right? You have to have enough leads to talk to. You have to make sure that you're spending enough to have enough leads to talk to or market your business enough. So it's a numbers game. You have to have enough people to talk to in order to hit your numbers and your goals, okay? So that's something that you must figure out. Now, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, AEP lasts for about 7 to 7.5 weeks, okay? So if you're trying to write 100 apps, then that means you have to be writing roughly about 15 new clients a week. Now, my goal during AEP for agents, and what I tell them that I'd like to see them do, and I think a good goal would be about 15 to 20 new apps a week during that 7-week selling season for AEP, okay? Now, some weeks you might have a little bit less, like Thanksgiving week. Other weeks you might have a little bit more, like maybe the first couple of weeks of AEP in October. But if you do 15 a week, you have 100 apps, a little bit over 100 apps by the end of the selling season. If you do 20 a week, you have about 140 give or take, by the end of the selling season. I think 100 to 150 is a great goal, and it puts you in a very, very select few class of agents that are actually writing that much during AEP. I'm not talking about agents that are in call centers that are fed leads. I'm not talking about agents that are LOAs. I'm talking about true independent agents that have to put their own marketing budgets together, that have to do everything in their agency. It's actually pretty normal that a call center agent will do 500 to 1,000 apps during AEP because they're just constantly fed inbound traffic and they're order taking. They're also possibly making 10 to 20 bucks an app, and that's it, right? So context, guys. Not to say that that's bad. I'm sure, that's great for somebody if that's what they want to do. I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but I'm just more putting it into context versus an independent, okay? So for me, I think the context should be 50 to 80 if you're new is a great first AEP. I believe that 100 to 200 if you're a seasoned agent is a great AEP as well. And if you're able to push past that and do 300 or something like that, then puts you in a very, very elite status, okay? So for me, that is what I would aim for. That should be your target, in my opinion. My second year, I did over 100 new Medicare clients during AEP, so it just depends on where you're at in your career, and then every year I kind of tried to build on that year in and year out. But that is, in my opinion, what you should be aiming for when it comes to AEP and what you're trying to sell and what your target should be, okay? Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment down in the comment section. What do you think? Is that a good goal? Is that a good parameter? Or is it not? I'd love to have a dialogue with you about it. Make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you found this video helpful. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Join the notification squad so you're notified when we upload. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Here's to your success and your abundance. I'll see you at the top. Thanks, guys.